Oil volatility, though, has not expanded.
No, it hasn't.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is interesting. All right, the zero DTE option markets, and this is sponsored by the SIBO, of course. The zero DTE option market gives traders access to rapid results and liquid prices. So far, our research has avoided making directional assumptions and focused on delta neutral approaches to selling zero DTE. But as the market has climbed higher and higher, it is natural to wonder what happens if we decide to pick a side.
Yeah.
Today, let's crunch some data on how different approaches to selling zero DTE SPX puts have performed.
Okie dokie.
Let's do it. Certainly been good outside of the last couple weeks here, months. So we've got 2.5 years of data here. We consider the results of selling one put spread every day with an at-the-money short strike. Consider a range of widths. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. Trades were closed if they reached 10% of the max profit. And then examine the total number of winning trades and total profits and losses and the maximum drawdowns, the largest amount someone could have lost, which is the largest amount someone could have lost if they did this every day starting at the unluckiest time. So when you look at the max drawdown, it's going to be more than the width of the spread because it's cumulative. It's like a period of time where you had the biggest drawdown before getting to a winning stretch.
Yeah.
So it's your max drawdown through this period. And we looked at this looking for 25% of the max profit instead of 10%. So those are the two metrics that we're going to look at here.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Cool.
And we all hate max drawdowns, right?
Of course. I would like to avoid those, generally speaking. And so the way you can kind of read the max drawdowns is like looking at the 30-point wide. Mm-hmm. Essentially, you had 3 in a row that were probably close to 4, actually, because you're collecting some premium here. But you had 4 in a row was your max drawdown. That was like kind of your worst case scenario. That's why the risk is $9,000 in terms of your max drawdown, as opposed to a 30-point wide spread that can only go to $30 minus the credit. So it tells you that 3 to 4 occurrences in a row is basically your worst one. In terms of your win percentage, 90 to 91% of the time you're taking profits on these. That's a function of this data set. Again, going to the question that we've gotten a couple times now. Why is Thursday a bad day to do zero DT? I don't know. It just happened to be a small data set, and that's the worst day. Same thing here. We could redo this study in 5 years, and this could be a totally different story. It's just the way that the market has moved. You can see across the board positive P&Ls, and your max drawdown was a handful of days in a row here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, right now, let's put it in perspective with how you're doing. You're down around 70 cents on your trade.
Damn.
Not max yet, but you're trying.
Yeah, but if you did, so like just looking at the markets here over the last couple of weeks, you probably had 2 occurrences last week, and then maybe 3 occurrences this week that you probably lost on. So it's it just kind of gives you an idea of like when these are not working. It's when volatility is super high and that you have kind of the downside move.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here we're looking at opening at 9 a.m. and then closing at a 10% profit. Again, across the board profitable here on your max drawdowns. You're looking at about 4 to 5 occurrences. So, just keep that in mind is 4 or 5 occurrences. If you can't withstand that, you probably got to adjust what you're doing here with these trades.
Yep. I don't know what to say here.
No, there's nothing more. It's just, that's just the stats. So now we're looking at opened at the open, closing for 25% of the max profit. So again, very high probability. Your P&L is increasing, your average P&L, because you are taking more profits. But again, max drawdowns, they're staying pretty high here. I think across the board, just from my experience with SPX trades, I've been happy that in general that I'm taking smaller profits.
Yeah.
10, 15%, that's good for me. Unless this is like your core trade, maybe you can do this a little bit differently. But for me, that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Okie dokie. I agree.
And then so opened at 9 a.m. So we've looked at the open and then 30 minutes after the open. This is closed at 25% of the max profit. Again, values going up for P&L. Max drawdown actually tightens up a little bit because you're taking a little bit more profit. And again, these trade like when you're doing one side, the 10% versus 15% versus 20 to 25% of the max profit, they're all going to be basically the same because you're probably having that same, like the 10% probably closes you out at 9 a.m. and then the 20% close you out at 9:15. It's kind of that same sort of move when you're talking about those smaller differences. So again, got to be careful of the max drawdowns.
Totally agree, son. Totally agree. But how do you watch out for the max draw? I mean, you set that on entry, right?
I don't mean you can control that. I just mean that if you are...
What you have to think is it's not as easy as what sometimes we show on the show, taking a quick dollar in 15, 20 minutes or holding something that goes to almost a full loss and the market, with high implied volatility like you have now, 25-20, we're going to have a little bit of two-sided action, although it doesn't seem like so far.
Not today.
So far today, right? I mean, we were down only 15 on the E-mini S&Ps near the opening there, or right after the opening. We're down 60 right now. Volatility 25.15, so about 15 points, 15 cents off of its highs. How do you do this? You got to set it on entry. What you should be taking away from this whole thing is you got to expect it sometimes. Now, you should only expect it a handful of times. So if you see it happening more than a handful of times, you got to think about one or two things. Volatility was low and expanding and continuing to expand, or your strikes are too tight.
Yes.
That's the two. That's the two.
Yeah. Because
the math is the math. Go ahead.
Good point. So over the duration of the study, SPX has gone from 3,800 to 6,600. Can you believe that's the range that we've had over the last 2.5 years?
No, I would not have. I could remember if I think about it, but no, I would not.
It's pretty incredible.
It is. It really is. And where are we sitting? It's 6,600 or so. SPX is going to be lower. SPX is sitting at 6,550.
We're right there. Sticking to defined risk helps traders manage some of these, even though you will have large drawdowns, higher profit targets. We're able to take home more profit overall, but that results in more exposure to drawdowns. Obviously, if you're trying to take more profit, you're going to have more risk in general. So that's especially the case with wider spreads. There are not clear differences in results for traders who sold their puts between the open and 9 a.m. I think this is kind of concurrent with what Kai has been doing on Mondays. There's not a huge difference between that 30-minute window. Sometimes one is better than the other, but the times where the other is better than the other evens out. You're going to have if you have 10 occurrences, one day it would be, 5 of those, it would be better to do at 8:30. 5 of those, it would be better to do at 9. It evens out over the long run. So you would have to be a pick and choosing better than a coin flip, which is probably
correct.
Hard.
That is correct.
So even narrowing our trading all the way down to SPX 0-day credit put spreads leaves a wide range to explore. In coming weeks, we will experiment with short strike placement, trade management, and rolling. We got more coming your way with 0 DTE.